Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So a bunch of you have been requesting a plant tour, a complete plant tour. I know I have shown some of the Hoyas and things that I have, but some of you have been requesting a complete plant tour. So I thought I would do that today, share with you all the plants that I have, where they're living in my home, and all of that. So sorry if the upload schedule is a little bit weird over the next couple of weeks, kind of with me being kind of in and out of town and the holiday and everything like that. It's kind of going to be not really a consistent schedule, but I'll still try to upload as frequently as I can. But without further ado, here is my home plant tour.
All right, so I think we will start here, which is my kind of dining room living area. You can see I have a south-facing window here, gets lots of beautiful light. And here on my dining room table, I have my Hoya carnosa, my Crimson Princess, doing just so well here. She just chills. You can see she's got all sorts of new growth. Beautiful variegation. She is really, really happy here. And then if we come over here, I have my little shelf of Hoyas. Up here, you can see my Crimson Queen. She is finally starting to put on a new leaf. She came to me bare-rooted, so must have some good roots now, and she's ready to start producing a little new growth. Next to her, we have my Hindu rope, and it's being intruded on by my lacunosa. But you can see, again, putting on, if we can get it to focus, putting on a little bit of new growth here. And a little bit there at the end. So again, doing really well here. Next to it, the lacunosa, just out of control. If it will focus. There we go. All right, you can see just growing so out of control. Cannot get this thing to stop growing. It's doing so well here in this light. And then next to that, we have the Hoya Chelsea. So again, another one that I had to repot, and she is probably taking her sweet time, putting on some new roots before she shares any new growth with me, but seems to be doing really well here. Needs a new pot for sure, a nice little cover pot. And then next to that, we have the, I think, shepherd eye. I'm pretty sure shepherd eye. And you can see not a lot is going on with this one, although I'm hoping, again, it's put on some good roots, and we'll start to share a little bit of new growth with me soon. So that is kind of what is in my dining room living area. All right, so this is my kitchen area. And you can see I have my humidifier here. It's kind of a nice central location for the house. So my one big humidifier is here. You might spot some little ones that I can run kind of in other rooms. You might see this brand a lot on plant tubers channels. That's because it's so good. I love this one. I can set it when I leave and know that it's maintaining. It says it's maintaining about 57 right now. I just have it set a little low so it doesn't run through this video, but a wonderful, wonderful product. I'll link to that below. And next to that, we have my Calathea orbifolia, and it looks like it's not doing so well. It came to me as a little baby. You can see there's all sorts of dry little crispy bits on here. But if you actually look, this one here is the newest leaf with a little bit of damage on it, but generally healthy. And then we've got one new leaf here and another new leaf coming in. Come on, focus. Another little baby leaf coming in right here, if you can see that. There we go. So I think it's doing reasonably well in spite of all outward appearances. I don't think I'm killing this plant, but I do have it next to the humidifier for a good reason. Hopefully it will continue to do really well here. On the other side of my humidifier, my little diva, my Calathea White Fusion, If you saw my Hertz haul, you know that this has not been doing the best since it got to me, but I do have back here a little new leaf and another one that looks like it's coming in kind of, there we go, right in there. So I think it might need a little bit more light, but I have it next to the humidifier right now just to make sure that it's getting all the humidity that it needs. And we will see how this diva continues to do as it puts out new growth. You can see we have another kind of newer leaf back here that looks pretty healthy. So we'll continue to let it grow and see what happens. Next to that, we have from NSE Tropicals, my Streptocarpus Charlie, which has this gorgeous variegation on it. But again, you might be able to see it's got some crispy bits on it. I think it got a little bit too much sun when I first got it, and that's when it started kind of drying out. You can see, again, new growth is coming in. It looks reasonably healthy here, but we will continue to let that grow, and again, maybe adjust as needed. You can see, look, a little baby coming in there. So I think these three, this is kind of my little plant hospital. They look a little bit rough, but I think they will continue to do okay. Moving to my upper shelf in my kitchen, I'll try to show these to you the best I can. I have a lot of my pothos up here, some of my easier care. They don't need to be watered as often. They can be up here on top of my cabinets, adding a little greenery here. So you can see I have my Marble Queen pothos up here. Found this one at Lowe's. Doing wonderfully well. Just continues to put on beautiful large new leaves. I think it's getting great light up there. And next to that, my Silver Satin pothos. Again, doing really, really well up here, putting on some new growth. So I think both of those are perfectly happy where they're at. I think they will continue to stay there. Moving down, you can see I have my Cebu Blue pothos up here as well, putting on tons of new growth. I think it's happy because it is getting some light from my kitchen lights in here. So these probably get about medium light on a daily basis, maybe medium low if it's an overcast day, but then they also get a little supplemental light from my kitchen lights. And again, that one is doing really, really well, is really, really happy. A couple fake plants, which I'm slowly trying to replace. And then up here, we have my Philodendron micans, which probably needs a little pull soon. Look at that growth going straight up towards the light. Again, if you saw my Hertz haul, you know that I ordered this one from Hertz, came in a little bit damaged condition, but she is doing so well up there, putting up all sorts of new growth, and like I said, reaching up for the light. So I think she will continue to stay where she's at. Coming around the corner, you can see my dog Loki taking a nice nap. It's a hot day. He's here on the cool pavement. Say hi, Loki. This is my entryway, and over here in this dark little corner, I have probably the easiest plant known to man, the ZZ plant. I adore this plant so much. It doesn't ask anything from me. It's just chilling here. I water it when I remember to water it, and it just continues to chill. Gives me a nice little pop of green as I first come into my house. So I can highly recommend the ZZ plant. And if you are interested, I can certainly do a video on the plants that I have found to be the easiest care, things that don't necessarily crisp up on me, things that just look beautiful and take the minimal of care. Moving more into kind of my living room space, my living area, you can see I have a little jade plant down here. Doesn't get the greatest light down here. If I'm being honest, it probably would be happier in a window with a little more direct light, but it's been here for a couple of years, just putting out a little bit of new growth when it feels like it, and I think it adds that nice little touch of green to my shelf. If I can find something better that can deal kind of with this like dark little cubby, I probably will change that out, but for now, it's doing okay here. Moving up, I have my Hoya carnosa. And this one is working on putting out those tendrils. It has probably put out a couple of inches of new growth. Not a whole lot of new leaf growth yet. You can see a little bit here in the back. So that's coming soon, but it has been putting out some growth. Doing really pretty well here. Again, it's probably medium light, especially on an overcast day. It's got some south-facing windows. It's got a west-facing window. So it's getting okay light, but probably not as high as it would like, but it's doing well. It's putting on new growth. And next to that, I have my Pearls and Jade pothos growing down towards the lamp. This one is one of those plants that I can come home from work and it's probably put on 2 inches worth of growth. So I adore this one. Adds that nice little pop of green to my decor here. On this side of the kitchen counter, I have my red Moranto. Another plant that I can highly recommend, especially if you like the Calathea family, the Morantaceae family. It does really well. Again, isn't super fussy like some of my other ones that are over here in the bad bin. But yeah, it's doing really, really well here. Gets probably the tiniest bit of direct sunlight at the very end of the day from the west-facing window, but it's probably a good 10 or 12 feet away from that window. And all of this little dust, I told you I was fighting the fungus gnats. I have a little diatomaceous earth. So if you see white dust on there, I promise that's not a pest. It is actually some diatomaceous earth. I need to dust my leaves. And you can see a little bit of new growth here. This one every day pretty much has a new little leaf that starts to come in. So again, a really nice one if you were just kind of starting out in that Calathea family. And a lot of the damaged leaves that you see on here are from when I originally bought it. So everything that's coming in new is coming in beautiful and healthy. Moving a little bit more into my living space, you can see I have a couple of Begonia rexes here. One is doing fantastically and the other one not so much. I believe this one is a Cherry Kiss or something like that. I'll try to put the name up on the screen if I can find it. This one needed to be repotted, and since then really has only put out a couple of new leaves. So I'm hoping it will make a comeback. I really like the coloration on that one, and it's got this kind of beautiful iridescent finish to it, but it has not been the happiest since I repotted it. So those are just kind of chilling there in the corner. And then over here I have one of the OGs, my Alocasia Ivory Coast. I actually got this at the grocery store before I became a crazy plant lady. Just picked it up on clearance and somehow, without having any plant experience, have managed to keep it alive. But since I've repotted it and given it a little bit of food, it has put out just these gorgeous, massive leaves. What a wonderful plant. Just so happy. Has put out lots of little pups that I can break off and share with people. Look at that. And then it's got these gorgeous pink stems, and we'll see if we can get a little better light. You can see these beautiful pink variegated stems, all sorts of new growth coming in. Again, another one, since I've repotted it, it has just put out so much new growth for me. It's getting just massive. And then here we have my Hoya numeraloides. This one loves this spot. Since I have moved it here, it has just put on so many new little leaves. Again, it probably gets a little bit of western sun through this west-facing window, but you can kind of see there's a tree outside that helps shade. So it gets a very little bit of direct sun, but I don't think it's been enough to cause any sunburn, sun damage. And you can see in here, we have a little peduncle. And then if we come back up over here, you can see another little peduncle. So it has been just completely happy, putting on lots of new growth. Definitely a Hoya that gives me lots of love for the most minimal effort. And I think she's going to stay here for a very long time. And then up in this beautiful corner up here on a shelf, the queen, my Hoya Bella, again putting on some peduncles. So hopefully we can get a few more little blooms out of her this summer season. Growing like a weed up here in this corner. I just took cuttings from it. If you watch my potting up video where I pot some of my propagations, you'll see took a bunch of cuttings, and this is what I have left. So she's about ready again for another little haircut. I can take some cuttings and share some more of this beautiful, beautiful plant. And that is kind of what I have in my living room. All right, up here I kind of have my little hallway, my display space. You can see I have some photos, some collectibles here. Up here, my Aetherium, Clarin, Erbium, an amazing plant. Actually got this one shipped to me all the way from Sweden. It was cheaper to get it shipped from Sweden to the United States than it was to buy one in the United States. Came with these 3 beautiful leaves, and it has flowered since it arrived. So I think it's doing pretty happy here. It probably gets medium to low light here in this corner. So if it starts to suffer a little bit, I may move it. But so far has been a very, very easy care plant for me. Just water it when it dries out. It's just chilling, and like I said, it put out a flower, so I think it's pretty happy. Next shelf down, I have my Peperomia Pink Lady, Pink Marble. I've seen a few different names. Look at these leaves. Some nice hot pink ones back here coming in. Again, seems very, very happy in this space. When I first brought it home and put it in this space, it popped out so many flowers in those first couple of weeks. So I think she's pretty happy here. Again, I just water her when she dries out completely, let her be dry for a day or two. And she is just one of my favorite plants. I love pink, I love sparkly, so this plant speaks to me on a different level. Right, next shelf down we have my little Hawthornia. You can see nothing really special to share here. I water it when it dries out, when I feel like it. Really just got it to be a low maintenance plant for this shelf. I don't know, it doesn't thrill me, but it survives and I don't have to pay a lot of attention to it, so a really great low care plant if that's something that you're looking for. And the next shelf down I have a variegated jade plant. Again, probably could do with a little bit more light than it's getting here in this corner, but it seems to be reasonably happy, so I'm going to leave it here for now. I like the way it looks on this shelf, and maybe in the future it needs to move to be a little bit happier. But like I said, for right now, it's surviving. Not necessarily thriving, but I like the way it looks, so it's going to live here. All right, moving into my bedroom, one of my absolute most favorite plants. This is the Calathea, I think it's Warwickshire. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The Calathea Velvet Touch, I've also heard is the common name. And this one, if I can find a photo of when it first came to me, I will insert that photo here. But it came to me pretty beat up, pretty dehydrated. Almost to the point that if it didn't recover in those first few hours, I was going to send it back. Gave it a nice long drink, and you can see it looks a little beat up, but it is actually really, really healthy. Has put out a lot of new growth for me, and as you can see, all of this new growth is beautiful, is pristine, so I think it's very happy here. It's got one west-facing window, not a ton of light, probably medium light, a little bit of more bright light in the evening, and it is doing super well. Again, another easier care Calathea. It doesn't tend to get as crispy. Like I said, a lot of this is damage from it being shipped to me and just getting so beaten up. But if you have never had the chance to feel one of these, please try to find one and feel the leaves. They are so soft, so glorious. And I just love, I have it in my bedroom so I can look at it all the time. It's so beautiful. And moving over to this corner of my bedroom, I have my Streptocarpus Triostar. I love this plant so much, and I actually have another one in my plant room that's doing a little bit better. This was one of the first plants that I got, and you can see I have my diatomaceous earth in there trying to fight off all those fungus gnats. This one did okay when I first brought it home, put out a few new leaves, and now it seems to be struggling a little bit. It's not getting worse, it's not getting any better, so it's going to live here for a little bit longer. And then if I need to, I'll adjust. Like I said, I have one that's doing a little bit better. But I love the look of this plant, and I just want it to live here on my shelf. So hopefully she starts to recover very soon. And then over here on my nightstand, I have my watermelon peperomia. Again, probably would do a little bit better with a little bit higher light. but you can see putting out some beautiful new leaves. Again, watch my Hertz video to kind of see the condition that it came in. But you can see all sorts of new baby little leaves on here coming in. So even though these old leaves look a little bit damaged, the new growth is coming in beautiful, and I think it will do okay. And in this corner over here, I have my white bird of paradise plant. I have mixed feelings about this plant. I love the look of this plant. I love the way it looks kind of here styled in this corner. I don't know that it's getting enough light. Quite honestly, it probably would be a little happier in another room. But again, it's not getting any worse. So it's gonna stay here for a little bit. When I first brought it home, put on a couple new leaves, it was very, very unhappy. I got it on clearance at Walmart. It had been chopped back and just looked so tragic. And I brought it home. So I think these new leaves are actually pretty healthy, pretty happy. But again, it probably could do with a little bit more light, a little bit more love. So we will see how this plant continues to do in the future. All right, welcome to my guest bathroom, kind of the darkest spot that I will put plants in. And you can see I have a little sansevieria over here in the corner. It actually has put on quite a bit of new growth since I've brought it home, so I think it's doing okay in this light. And then up here in the corner, I have a spider plant who is putting on some babies, but also has some yellow leaves. I think he was not absorbing as much water. Maybe he was in a little bit too big of a pot. But spider plants are hardy. Part of the reason I have the spider plant and the snake plant in here are because they will survive in a little lower light, get a little bit of that jungle feel here in this bathroom. So if he continues to get worse, lose leaves, I probably will move him out just for a little bit, get some more new growth on him so that he can be doing a little bit better. And a side note, I named some of my plants. Most of them are really boring, but this is my spider plant, so his name is Peter Parker, and hopefully he will continue to do better.